This video is on slandering James Payton. And why? So, before James and Jamie started dating, Jamie had gotten drunk one night, and she told me that James Payton raped Jackie McKenzie. I knew that James had been a series of horror stories. I'd literally never heard anything good about him out of Jamie or Jackie. But that was over a decade ago. Well, Jamie got drunk one night and had sex with James Payton, and they started dating. This is because I couldn't bring myself to have sex with her. We almost did once, but I zipped myself up in my zipper and it was bleeding quite a bit. By it, I don't really feel like I should have to go any further into that. So, Jamie and I, we had a falling out, and, well, just prior to Natalie Bollinger disappearing, well, actually, before I went to Virginia, I had to turn around to go help out Miss Jamie because she needed a hero. Myself and a man named Todd Rust from Chapel, Nebraska, helped move Jamie out of James Payton's house and into her new apartment. Now, the first night at her new apartment, I stayed there while Jamie and the boy, her son, went over to James's. James was not supposed to be there, but he showed up early from his visit to his family's, realized that Jamie was moving out, and threw her down the stairs, according to Jamie's son. I have this recorded. I can't post it up because he's 12. So, we'll fast forward a bit. Before Natalie disappeared, Jamie had let me know that she was afraid because she was in the same town as James. Now, first of all, I want to let you know that James is good to Jamie and the boy now. Jamie has a better boyfriend than James, and I love him to death. Not James, but Jamie's new boyfriend. I think he rocks. I think he's a wonderful excuse for a human being, and I'm glad that Jamie has him in her life. But that's not the point of this. Just prior to Natalie disappearing, I decided to go after the predators because I was tired of being sucker punched for standing up to these bullies. I was tired of being treated like shit for helping women out. Not just women, men as well. I was tired of being everyone's kicking bag. And Jamie had let me know that she was afraid of living in the same town as James. And I let her know that she needs to call me once a week so that I know that her and the boy are safe. Well, after 3 weeks of her not calling, I was having a pretty bad anxiety attack, and so I told the truth about James, and it turned out that I was wrong. I mean, I was right about him beating on Jamie, but I was wrong about him raping anyone. So, why was I wrong? Because Jamie had lied to me. That's also the reason that I had such anxiety before Jamie moved out of chapel, is because she had told me James was a rapist. You don't say something like that about a man if it's not true. So, I did slander James Payton's name. I said he was a rapist, and he was not. However, when I exposed James on his Facebook, I was not aware of this. I was not aware that what I was saying was not the truth. Jamie didn't inform me of that until much later. See, she had gotten a hold of me and told me after I had exposed him on his Facebook, Jamie got a hold of me, very pissed off, to tell me that James had come to her house. And she blamed me for that, said it was my fault. That I had told him in one of my videos where she was living. I didn't. James had stalked her. He knew where she was living, and he came to her house the very next day after I posted that. And, kind of like Natalie Bollinger getting a hold of me the very next morning after I had exposed Ted on his Facebook. I was tired of being treated like a rapist. I never raped anyone. So, nobody else really gave two shits. Not until Natalie disappeared. Now, by that point, I was pretty well stuck there. And Jamie, when she called me up and said that James had come to her house, she said I needed to fix it. I didn't know how. I couldn't think of any way to fix it except getting louder about James, making him too afraid to go to her house and harm her. To make it vocal, so if anything happened to Jamie, they'd know exactly who did it. I also did the same thing with Ted. So if anything happened to Natalie, people would know exactly who did it. Seth Payton has been harassing me and threatening me and slandering me and bullying me and harassing me for about 2 years now as a result. Seth Payton is the brother of James Payton, the woman beater. That computer that I have in Wyoming has a recording between Jamie and I where we speak about that, about Jamie beating on her. I also have a recording of the boy speaking about the incident. I can't post that in good conscience because he's 12. Jamie should have come forward She shouldn't have blamed me for letting her predator go, 'cause James did assault her repeatedly. And James beat on Jamie for leaving him, threw her down a flight of stairs. That's according to the boy. According to James, he pushed her into a bookshelf. According to Jamie, he beat the fuck out of her. In either event, I don't lay my hands on people, not unless I'm ganged up on or drugged. So don't put drugs in me, especially if the side effects are getting violent. That's probably not a good drug to be putting into somebody, is it? That's why I don't take those drugs, because I have adverse reactions. Seth Payton, he has gone out of his way to harass me on way too many occasions. I'm not going to let this go. That's the point, is that between turning in her predator and treating me like shit, Jamie chose to treat me like shit. Todd Rust could have come forward about this. Jamie could have come forward about this. But they didn't. On the recording with the boy, it also has him talking about me throwing my telephone and me stomping on my telephone and Jamie bandaging up my foot and Jamie's boss bringing the crutches. I have that recording now. Matter of fact, I do have it on YouTube for safekeeping, but it's unlisted. I admit to slandering James Payton by calling him a rapist when he was not a rapist. However, he did beat on Jamie, and according to the boy, James had been to jail once before for beating on a woman. And from what the boy had to say, James was only locked up for 1 day. And that's why women don't turn in their predators. 1 day is all he got. I've spent the last 2 years trying to get an honest court date. I've spent the last 3 years trying to get a police officer to do their job. I've spent the last 4 years trying to find a safe place where I'm not harassed by the police, where I can visit with my friends and not have to worry about getting in trouble for them coming to visit. I wholeheartedly admit to slandering the name of James Payton. However, due to his brother, Seth Payton, being such an obnoxious little knockhead, I'm going to continue speaking out about James Payton being a woman beater, and I'm going to keep pushing that fucking button. James Payton lives in Rapid City, South Dakota. Seth Payton moved away. He moved to Tennessee. Also, in that conversation with me and the boy, as well as the conversation between Jamie and I, it shows that James Payton was a whiny little bitch who was pissed off that Jamie left him and whined and pined and whined and pined to try to get her back. And you know what? It was too late. Ha ha, James. Ha ha.